Greetings, all! Today, we will be examining the uncommon normal flying-type Pokemon Chatot, the Music Note Pokemon. Fun to interact with, and far more intelligent than many might give them credit as being, Chatot are interesting birds that can more than use the power of sound to their advantage to confuse and batter off those that wish them harm. Chatot possess small bird bodies with a bright plumage of yellow feathers on their upper chest, green on their lower body, and blue on their wings, which help to complement their bright yellow four-toed feet, 3 toes in the front and a single one in the back for gripping and stability. There is a white burst of plumage covering the neck area that leads to a head that is covered with black feathers, with the creatures having fairly thick and stubby pink beaks that goes well with their pink eyelids and black eyes. They have a crest on the top of their head that is in the shape of the top part of a music note, giving their entire head the look of a whole music note, and they have a black tail with a bulbous protrusion near the end that they use to keep rhythm when using their voice. Compared to many other bird Pokemon, Chatot would initially seem to be little more than another common creature, minus their exotic and colorful plumage, but despite their limited access to offense or defense of any sort, these creatures do have one thing going for them that helps them to stand out strongly compared to many of their contemporaries: their voice. As it turns out, Chatot are masters of vocal mimicry and are able to mimic the voice of just about any Pokemon or person they hear perfectly. This is in due part a result of the unique shape of their throat and especially tongue, which resembles that of a human's, allowing them to perfectly mimic human speech as well as the cries of other Pokemon. These birds use mimicry as their primary means of defense in the wild, as they can use their vocals to trick predatory Pokemon that they are hearing another one of their kind, and thus that the source is not something worth attacking. This helps to supplement their otherwise poor defensive attributes, and there does not seem to be a serious limit to the type of cry that they can make with their unique talent. This is not limited to just basic speech, however, as these creatures can use their voice to sing with the voice of just about any life form they hear, and they will often bob their tails back and forth like a metronome as they do so in order to keep them in rhythm without ever messing up. This grants them the capacity to use sound-based moves and special attacks in general quite effectively despite their small size, and they are known to make great pets as a result of their skills. Their strong eyesight and unique brain structures allow these creatures to possess the keen eye and tangled feet abilities as base abilities, while those that are particularly resilient against the actions of others in terms of their courage can also have access to the big pecs ability as a hidden ability. As far as the stats are concerned, Chatot do not have much to offer in the way of defense, physical strength, or stamina, and are poorly equipped as a whole for serious combat, so most of the stats are below average for a fully evolved normal and flying-type Pokemon. The only real exceptions to this are their base speed stat, which is above average for a fully evolved normal-type Pokemon, and their base special attack stat, which is above average for a fully evolved Pokemon of both of their types. So at the very least, they can hit hard from afar and move fast enough to get the jump on a lot of opponents before they otherwise get the chance at a first strike. In discussing Chatot, it is important to take note of the fact that these creatures actually have 2 signature moves, one of which is completely inaccessible to any other Pokemon known. For starters, these creatures are the only Pokemon known that are able to naturally learn the Confide technique, in which they use their mimicry skills to whisper some sort of dark secret to their opponent to throw off their concentration and reduce their capacity to effectively utilize special powers for at least a short period of time. Though now available as a TM, these birds have access to this move from birth and can thus make good use of it early on as a counter to their weak special defenses. On the other hand, Chatot are the only Pokemon known that are able to use the unique Chatter attack, which effectively involves them squawking their favorite human phrase at opponents as loudly and chaotically as they possibly can. The attack itself is not extremely powerful and is among the weaker sound-based attacks that can be learned by a Pokemon, but it does have one nasty attribute that can make it a pain to have to deal with. The screechy repeating of a single phrase over and over again can not only cause disorientation of their opponent from the sheer volume of the noise being generated, but because it's likely a phrase that has little to no meaning to their opponent, as many Pokemon cannot perfectly understand human speech, it adds an extra layer of confusion that does just that, inflicting guaranteed confusion on anything that is struck by the attack. This move can often prove to be incredibly valuable for these creatures as a means of defending themselves as a consequence of their poor defenses, and it can make these otherwise weak birds into a serious threat, especially if they can use their notable agility and speed to deliver the attack and potentially cripple the opposition before they can even begin to unleash any type of offense. Despite their limited combat potential and attributes, Chatot are entertaining Pokemon that can certainly use their mimicry skills to make themselves both a joy and a nuisance to be around. They might not be able to defend themselves much outside of using sound as their primary weapon, but this can still be more than enough to make them a threat if they cannot be outsped or their musical talents barreled through. Of course, if you're just looking to have one as a pet, they can make great family friends and are intelligent enough to be easy to train. Just make sure that you watch what you say in their presence, or you might find yourself in big trouble if your pet accidentally says something that is not so nice in public and continues to do so because you couldn't keep your mouth shut around them. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter, where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description.
Yeah, no.
With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.